Hello VC. Adventure. Let's go to the studio to listen to the first record I received in 2021. Yeah, it's a beautiful day here in Sweden today, but I had to do some preparation. Yes. There you go. Alright. Studio. It's gonna be chilly inside here. Alright. So, let's see if we can make some light. Yes. Yes. There we go. There we go. Oh, no electricity. More adventure. All right. Okay, here we go. I need to check if this works. Ooh. Ooh. All right. Yes. Hope this works now. See, this was improv. Nothing too fancy. None of this posh VC. I don't know if that even exists, I'm just saying. Alright. Oh, I can hear the system is on. Let's see. Yes. There we go. So, what do we have? Let's see. All right. Oh, flavor crystals. 5. I don't know if it's their 5th album. Maybe it is. It's the first one I get, anyways. Flavor Crystals is an American band. Let's see how they sound. It's a triple LP. Yeah. Alright. So, this is an album they released at the end of last year. There wasn't that many copies that reached Europe, so I had to get it from there. And what was interesting to me about it? Well, I to be honest, I knew nothing about them before I noticed a little thing here, which is that one track, the last track, side 5. Okay, so it's a double LP with a one-sided third LP. Cetacea, Seefeel adjustments. Oh no, here it is. There. Seefeel. Seefeel is one of my favorite bands. So this is supposed to be like shoegaze, mellow. I don't know exactly. This is like shoegaze soft rock. No, this is shoegaze. This is pretty good. So I'm on the lookout for anything Seefeel, and I got Twitter, but only to follow maybe 5 or 6 people I follow very closely, including Mark Clifford from Seefeel. This is the Seefeel adjustment on this album, not what we're listening to, but we'll get to this in a second, or in a minute or two. This is really good. So I believe this is the band of a certain Joshua Richardson, and you have Nat Stensland on bass, Vince Caro on guitars, John Menka on drums and percs, Josh Richardson on guitars and vocals, and this was recorded in the new improved Foam Giant room at Base Station Utter, mostly during 2018 through 2020. It's on a label called MPLS. If I'm gonna listen to rock in 2021, it will either be pretty antagonistic or exactly this way. Beautiful spine here, like 6 millimeter spine. All songs are by Josh Richardson. What I like about this is that despite it being pretty mellow, there's an underlying tension throughout the track. So this was a 100 copy limited black vinyl, and there's also 200 copies white vinyl of it. White vinyl is pretty cool. So it's basically 300 copies of this. And they got a Bandcamp. I think you can still get it there, maybe. Especially if you're in the US, or in Northern America at least. Well, this is very, very cool. I think after that we should, this is the title track, Cetacea. Or the first track at least, Cetacea, which is, it's the family, the mammal family of the whales, right? Orcas, belugas. I can see that. So Seefeel, who is more Clifford and 3 other people, but mostly him. This album is from '93, I believe. This is fantastic. This is the ground for many of the best music in rock for the past 30 years, in my opinion. Oh, 25 years. And he did So a Seefeel adjustment of that track. Let's see what it sounds like. So yeah, one-sided vinyl. Seefeel started out in 91, 92. This is their first EP on Too Pure, the label that did only good, in my opinion, apart from their most successful artist that is good but I don't like, PG Harvey. This is on a nice, I don't know what that color is, but this is the More Like Space EP. Seefeel basically was doing what Michael D. Valentine would have done if they managed to continue right after Loveless, their groundbreaking album, which Kevin Shields took what, like 25 years to follow up, or something like 20-25 years. Basically, I think that that Loveless was such a groundbreaking album that they didn't know where to go next, and they were kind of afraid of what was actually the logical step after that, which is what Seefeel did. Electronics dub. Because as Seefeel starts as a shoegaze band or whatever, they quickly embrace sampler, pedals, effects, and do the music that was expected for the 90s. And some of the most relevant music of the early 90s. They eventually got signed to Warp and Reflex, Aphex Twin labels, Aphex Twins label, where they didn't do their best work, but still, all the stuff on Too Pure is marvelous. And then there's an EP on Warp that is maybe their best, the Stereo EP. There was a video of that was played on MTV quite a lot in the mid 90s, Friday night, if you know what I mean. This is very nice. This is very Seefeel. Guitar drones, very tubby bass. Beautiful harmonics, and the voice barely present, almost like the ghost of a singing, which is basically where Michael D. Valentine were going. So I think that when Seefeel reformed in the mid-2010 or so, they released an album that is interesting, maybe not their best, but it's interesting, and they toured a little bit. And I believe that Flavor Crystals probably opened for them during some gigs in Northern America. Hence the connection. And I'm very glad they did, because this gives us a new, very Seefeel-esque Seefeel track, and also a great album apparently from Flavor Crystals. Basically, this is the latest music we've heard from Seefeel. Let's listen to the very first. That surface. right. So this is almost 30 years old. When I got this, when it was released, I thought it was rock. I didn't catch the electronic aspect of it and the dub aspect. It's silly me, but yeah, I was like 13 or so. 13, 14 maybe, yeah. But this was really some of the absolute favorite music of mine in the early 90s. This is a British band, by the way. One could argue that another main influence to this music, apart from Mabel Devantine, would be the Cocteau Twins, obviously. You'll hear that in a second, but I think you can hear it already. Tell you that discovering this in the early 90s as a teenager, that was a good way to feel you don't need any drugs. Something that you obviously don't hear here, but the leader it was not obvious he was the leader back then. Mark Clifford plays the guitar and arranges everything and chops up. He's a great guitarist. I've seen him play the guitar live, alone, solo. It was really impressive. Very strange way, I connect this also to Robert Wyatt. Obviously the music is fairly different, but if you think about it, Robert Wyatt in the 80s, he was really experimenting with dub production at least, and having this almost otherworldly quality in his music, as were obviously the Cocteau Twins. And yeah. Yeah. Seefeel opened for the Cocteau Twins in their US tour in '93, I believe, or so, which resulted in this album by the Cocteau Twins, which is 4 tracks of the Cocteau Twins, remixed, arranged by Mark Clifford and Seefeel. Recycled by Mark Clifford. 1995, this was released. So this could, in '91, this could still pass as rock music if you were into indie rock from the UK, where when so much cool stuff was happening. But just a few years later, apart from the great album that I'll talk about it in another video eventually, but this EP, the Stare-Through EP, which got this track called Spangle. Let's see if I find it directly. I think it's this one. Yes. I think I got 3 copies of this record just in case. This is really, for me, one of the absolute best tracks of the 90s. This is from '94, by the way. So Warp was quick to catch and snatch them away from their indie label. These drums, oh! At the Old Tomorrow's Party of 2003, which Otaker curated, Mark Clifford was playing live, solo guitar and effects. That was amazing. But he was also selling around a CD single with a remix of this track by Otaker. And it's absolutely fantastic. But it was only a CD, but it actually just got issued for the very first time on vinyl on the double compilation that I'm gonna get pretty soon. The sub bass there. Ooh. I think this is a good small introduction to talk about shoegaze in another video, but probably the aspect of shoegaze that is the least talked about and, in my opinion, the most interesting. Ride is a cool band, but this is looking in the future, into the future, in my opinion, or it was at least back then. Well, it is looking in the future, since bands like Flavor Crystals obviously were inspired by this music, so much so that they became artists and did their own take of that, which we'll after that listen to a lot more. It's only fair. This will probably get me into copyright infringement, since this was released on Warp Records. Alright, so let's conclude this little video with a little more from Crystal Flavor Crystals. More the rock side, obviously. There was a connection between Seefeel and My Bloody, but like I was wrong. There's this little 7-inch that came out on 2 Pure Clear Spot, which features Korn Osio Sangoig from some people from My Bloody Valentine and some people from other bands, but no. But yeah, the scene, like you have to remember that most of this music came out in the early 90s from the UK. It was a very small scene, very dedicated but very small. This is good. It's like stoner rock. Seefeel. Well, let's say it's Flavor Crystals, which I'm very happy to discover. Alright, VC, that's it for today. I hope everyone is good. I hope everyone is respectful, and I hope that this chaotic little video, no plan, was interesting. It was actually improvised because I'm waiting for a couple of records and I didn't know which one that would be. I had no idea, but I wasn't sure. So there you go. Have a nice day, BC.